Okay, so then getting back to like my normal day's work, like coming out here, sitting down. What am I doing outside? Well, I'm figuring stuff out, you know? Just see ya. Handsome guy, eh? So, my dad's favorite expression was, my dad used to say I gave him my best shot. And then he used to make some sort of awkward physical gesture at the waitress, because it's partially obligatory for guys to hit on every single waitress, and it's partially obligatory for the waitress to try to seduce the guy with sexual innuendo into giving her a bigger tip. Now that went completely south on this woman named Elliot in Moxie's with a supervisor named Darcy, and Dan is my witness, on the 30th of May, about 6 p.m. beside the Sandman Hotel, which was at 180 West Street in Georgia. Oh God. Oh, so Darcy and Elliot was our server, and then I had really just wanted a steak, and then so it was a bit of a joke. And she said, "Well, we have different kinds of steak. What kind would you like?" I said, "Oh, I'd like a tender steak. You know, nothing with it. Not a lot of fat. Something tender." Because that is the way that I like it in Taiwan. And that's exactly like I was thinking about steak when I was saying that. And so this hot, very tattooed, very skinny, very attractive. Attractive and hot are two different words. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. She's a walking prostitute. She replies back, she says, "Oh, we got many different kinds. What kinds did you want? Split roast, maybe share with your friends." Ooh, I like that. Yeah, I'll have one of those. "Can we split a roast, please?" She says, "Okay." And catches herself at what she just agreed to saying. I felt the rush go straight up and down my body, and I'm very certain that she felt the heat too. Oh. Did things get awkward mighty quickly after that? Wow. No, I was really okay with sharing a steak with my friend, but I definitely caught on to the fact that she was talking sexually when she was saying split roast, because that's a very normal sexual word. And so, I'm even looking at the hedge rate. Looks like to be, it's doing like the split legs on me. See the hedge doing the split legs? Never noticed that before. That conversation got so awkward so fast. And I was like trapped. I was trapped. It was this fourth dimensional script. This script that I tagged out after that. What the fuck is going on? God, I wanted to exit the restaurant as fast as I could. I finally wanted to just leave and just want to go. And then I kept forgetting things. He kept having me come back. I was like, "Darcy, I'm so sorry, I'm back. Can we just please get on with this? Like, you gotta forgive me," or something, like, because he took her side. And then I just kept Then it was, I thought I'd lost my elevator key because it was attached right to the hotel. This is like the very first night of my hotel stay at the hotel next door. The one where I ended up claiming I walked into a child sex ring on night 15, the 13th of June. The 180 West Georgia Street Sandman Hotel in downtown Vancouver. I believe sincerely, truly, to the best of my heart, that I walked in on it had to do with an underage girl and sex and delivering it to the hotel room, and I'm not quite sure what the words are for that, but the handlers were definitely not working for the girl, and they were definitely not working for the man in the hotel room. So there was definitely a third party involved. And there was 2 female handlers, and they were plain dressed, and the girl was underage. She was underage. She was very decidedly very underage. And yeah, I was on the 11th floor in the North Tower because my hotel room was there at 11:07. So I went out to the hotel to go outside to smoke my bong. And been doing that already. Been doing that 15 nights at that point, from the 30th of May, that Darcy incident, to the 13th of June, that night. I also stayed. I stayed until the 16th. So, continuously. I stayed continuously from the 30th of May to the 16th of June in the Sandman Hotel at 180 West Georgia Street, downtown Vancouver. So, prior to that, I landed in Vancouver on the 8th of May, 2024. I didn't have anywhere to go, I didn't have any money, so I slept at the airport for 6 nights like Tom Hanks in the movie The Terminal. On the 7th night, at around 10:30, 11 o'clock, security finds me. We have a polite discussion. They inform me that if I have no boarding pass, I have no right to be in the airport. The airport is private property. I recall from my own training in school that the airport is indeed private property. That's why it's called the Airport Authority. Authority means private property, private. So when it says Vancouver Coastal Authority, as the managers of the psychiatrists who forcibly medicated me without allowing me to contest whether or not their accusations are true. There seems to be some corruption at the Vancouver Coastal Authority. I'm just now realizing. That is if we don't have these 2 psychiatrists arrested. And I'm speaking specifically of, well, this is one of them, okay? Dr. Neela H. Kant, and, okay, it's July 4th, and it's BC, right? And it says, take 2 tablets. See this? It says quantity, 28 tablets. So, do a quick calculation in your head, 28 tablets, 2 tablets per day, that means 14 days. So, 1 whole bottle is 2 weeks worth. And how many refills do we have? We have 2. So, 1 whole bottle, 2 weeks worth, refills 2 equals 6 weeks total from July 4th. But started on July 4th. And it started in BC, by the way. Started in BC, okay? That day, he flew me onto an airplane to Toronto so that I could not challenge this prescription. So now you can ask him why this prescription that's supposed to have pills in it, because it's only, August 3rd today. It's not 6 weeks yet. Why does it have marijuana in it? And you can just ask him that. I'm sure he'll remember me. I'm sure he's not able to forget me at this point. He didn't do wrong. It was the one before him that did wrong. However, he's definitely... Well, I'm sorry. He did wrong. I was lying on the ground on the 3rd of July, and he was standing over top of me. And he directly told me that in order to leave this room and not receive another forced injection, I had to swallow whatever pill I get. And I told him, thank you for explaining the rules. And then the next day we met in his office. It took a lot of arguing. For me to get a copy of the Mental Health Act printed. Oh, okay, there's a nurse there, Nurse Mia, in Siegel 8 of Vancouver General Hospital. Okay, that woman has to be like transferred to housekeeping. Seriously, she's from the UK. Just please get rid of her nursing license. I mean, burn it. There's no way that nurse. I mean, she takes blonde jokes to a whole nother level. I mean, a whole nother level. First of all, her name is Mia. She's a nurse. She's standing behind the counter of the nursing station. Hi, Nurse Mia. On the list behind you, I see my name. There's 4 different columns with 4 different checks. It says forms. Form 13, 14, 15, 16. And I have a checkbox in Form 13, but I don't have any checkboxes in Form 14, 15, and 16. And everybody else has checkboxes in Form 14, 15, 16. Can I have a look at what Form 14, 15, and 16 are? Because I remember Form 13. That was the really good one. That was where you guys were like telling me that I have the right to challenge the diagnosis, and I have the right to challenge the reason of the medication, and I have the right to challenge the grounds of the medication as different from constitutional reasons. And I have a right to get a second opinion, even if I don't want to challenge the diagnosis. So, but then there was also then I have a right to the correctness of the paperwork. So Form 13 tells me that I have a right to challenge your diagnosis. I have a right to challenge the medication. And I have a right to make sure that the paperwork is all in order. And these are listed as 3 separate rights on Form 13. But then on the 2nd of July, you make me lie down on the ground, pull down my pants so that a nurse or somebody can come inject me while 4 security guards hold me down. And then on the 3rd of July, you get Dr. Neil LeCant come in, and he's looking over top of me, and he says the rules to me are, by the way, you have to take every pill that I give you, or I'm not letting you out of this room. And you get forced injections while you're in the room. Okay, thanks for explaining the rules. But I can cheek the pill and then just spit it out in the sink, right? I didn't actually factor on the fact that those things dissolve really bloody fast in your mouth. But I did cheek the one on the 4th. So I got that one through. But the 3rd I had to swallow, and I'm still like woozy from the medication that they knocked into me on the 2nd, which made me sleep for 24 hours. It was ridiculous. So I have a lingering complaint. This complaint is going to take up, let's just say, the rest of my life until it's solved. Because I've been at this for 12 years. If you haven't got that yet, lawmakers and whoever is obligatory watching this right now, because I'm bringing on the doctors. Bring it on. Did I tell you about the part where the first doctor, Dr. Sherwood, molested me in the actual patient interrogation room because she thought I wasn't conscious of it? I mean, Dr. Sherwood, Dr. Megan Elizabeth Sherwood. And that incident was on the 28th of June, 2024. And that really affected me, though. That really affected me. That whole day was off somehow. Anyway, I don't want to remember it. Some things let lay buried unless we can come to a financial settlement if she likes, but it will involve trading her real physical house and everything she owns. Okay. So otherwise, that aside, then her life does belong to you, and please do prosecute her to the full extent of the law. Thank you very much. So I'm writing this vlog in order to fix exactly that, to find better ways to fix that. So when I was put on the airplane, when the doctor on the 4th, when I told him that I wanted to challenge this from Ontario, because the Ontario legal system has let me challenge this, even if they didn't let it be a fair challenge. At least the mechanics were in place for me to argue it in a safer place, jail instead of the psych ward. Please transfer me back to Ontario, I said. You know, I'm in it for life. So he said, oh, there's a faster way. So then he released me, and then he got his nurse to put me into a taxi to... I was really upset there about Mia. So a nurse's work shift is 12 hours in 2 complete work shifts. 2 complete work shifts. Mia did not find the time to get herself the permission that she believed she needed in order to give me a blank copy of Forms 14, 15, and 16 from the drawer behind her. If Form 13 is a form advising me of my legal rights, and Mia spends 2 entire shifts actively denying me the access to learning anything further about my legal rights, because I still have not seen a copy of Forms 14, 15, or 16. I was kicked out of that hospital so fast on July 4th, when I advised them of the law that I already knew, that they forgot to tell Air Canada that I woke up that morning as an involuntary patient, and that I was going to a place where I thought I was actually still wanted by the police because of the earlier stuff that happened in Ontario. So I had no home in Ontario. Not only did I have no home, I thought I was wanted by police. Now, logically, if I think that I'm wanted by police, the only way to solve that is to check and see whether or not I'm wanted by police. But you know what? They kept telling me the Wi-Fi was down in the aircraft. So we can make a joke out of this, and I can say that I used the stewardess to use the captain to call the tower to tell the police to come pick me up because I have a question to ask them. And that's kind of crazy sounding. Or we can say the Air Canada flight stewardess threatened me and harassed me, and I wouldn't stop harassing me after she believed that I was not allowed to catch a glimpse of her or any of her colleagues in a video. And when she made me aware of the problem, I apologized and I turned off the video. I actually stopped recording. I was recording a video for me and the guy beside me, Joe. And whose real name was Joe. Yeah, that was in seat 36F. This was aboard Air Canada flight 186 departing Vancouver 21:55 to Toronto on the 4th of July, departing, arriving 5th of July, Toronto. It's 3 hours time zone change too. We're talking about the flight, hey? So I was escorted off the flight. So we were talking about the flight because I was thinking about whether or not it was useful to me to involve Air Canada in this reparation of the psychiatric argument that I've got going on at the same time in Vancouver. Although it would seem like I would get a harder hit with a hammer from Air Canada, I have a blade that is so very thin that it can stretch to all eternity and not need to be anything more than a single letter. So I'm not going to do much more than write just a single letter, which I've already written. And I was thinking about putting it into a blog post so there's this website online called Passengers' Rights, managed by Air Canada, because I was trying to see how you could actually contact Air Canada. And I went to first I went to the lawyers, and they said, because it's in BC, it has nothing to do here. And that was the Community Legal Aid Clinic at 71 Colbert Street in Orillia. And I was gonna go back to them and tell them, you're full of shit, you know that? Because lawyers are supposed to be like national all the time. That's what the law says. You have to be consistent. We covered that, didn't we? At least have national capability, national jurisdiction. There you go, national jurisdiction. You can't just pretend to fix part of the law. It's like the law is always all of it. There's just no separating. So there seems to be a little bit of confusion there about that. So I was gonna go back and correct them, and we'll leave that one as just an unconscious salute. She is helping me though with an ODSP claim, so I'm on Ontario Disability Pension Support Program. One of those. Now that woman there was 68 years old, and she was getting $1,100 a month. Well, who do I complain to? Because I'm 47 years old and I'm only getting $970 a month. I want to lodge a complaint, because it's not really enough. I don't know how she's living off of $1,100 a month. You know what? I don't even know how I'm sitting outside on a curb right now speaking these things into this video. I don't even know how the airplane's flying away. So I'm just gonna leave it at, who do I complain to get more money? Because I would love to have more money, because money is the stuff that like gets me the candy, and I love candy. And the best kind of candy is the fleshy kind of candy, but that requires a whole hotel room, and then that requires a whole. So I'm gonna need a little bit of a raise on that one. I have to work that one into my future there somehow. And then okay, don't fall down. Not again. I've already dropped this phone 6 times already. It's enough already. I brought a replacement screen, but I also brought the anticipation that I was going to drop my phone some more. So, but I think now, like, I'm just looking at all the dings on this screen. It's truly ridiculous. And anyway, I have the ability to fix the screen, so I'm not worried about that. Please just, can we call it enough now? And then, so I can pause this video for a second. Okay, I get it now, and I want to trace the thought for you. So it started off with the word ransom. I got picking around in my head thinking, is there a ransom? Am I some sort of terrorist? Is there some sort of great annihilation, explosion, big bang? Do I want some sort of demands? Am I going to take over the White House and kick out the president and blah, 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 blah? No, nothing like that. You're thinking physical. And nothing like in any other dimension. So, but the thought was from ransom then that it expanded to the reflection, which was the reassurance. So there's always two choices. You can do this or this. In terms of ransom, you can give ransom, not ransom. Okay, those are 2 choices. But then over here, there's reassurance. So you've actually got 3. You've got you got bad, good, and ransom. No, sorry, 2 for ransom, and then 1 for I'm over here. So it's very different, right? 2 for ransom, and I'm over here. And then, yeah, and I'm picturing like little icons there with bubbles. That's 2 for ransom. I'm over here. There's always 3 choices. And this one over here says, pick the third. And then at one point I heard someone say, there are 4. Well, in order to say there are 4, there have to be at least 5, right? So beside me, my moving lips there, that's the 5th dimension relative to the other. See that? Just kind of. So you're looking on an eternal line. You're eternal. You're in a real-time moment all the time. So in recognition of that, recognize that this is my environment also. The crux of my argument is not on my wrist, but I have the habit of looking there now. The crux of my argument is something physical I keep on me so that I am assured that it is a constant real-time argument. And right now the only other physical thing I have on me that's a real-time argument is this guy. And you know, I do okay with this. It breaks sometimes, but it comes back. So but this one, that one, and then there's, you know, you gotta have your trusty friend too. So Dahoji. So and then Lucifer. Yeah. And then Lucifer. Better. I actually gave the 3 letters there in my story, the story of Lou, but I don't know where those ideas are coming from right now. Kind of random intermissions. So I wanted to talk about ransom, then the reassurer, and then going to and extending to that whole idea of reassuring, the idea of ransom, and that was behind that, as saying then also, why do you think I'm so popular among the group that have been so abused? Because I reassure them that the law they are following is indeed true, and that all the other nonsense going on in their environment is indeed confusion. And oh boy, does that really, you know, that makes some serious friends for life at some point. And then, yeah. So my little pool of stuff down here. So this is kind of I'm looking at. And that was zoomed back from 3.3. So this is a 27 video. It's a little bit long. All right. The good thing is, it only has to be said once, and the faster I get this stuff out, the faster we can get on with the show.